What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and this one I want to give you guys some updates on what's going on with the market, break down what's happening to Tesla, SPY, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. Talk about something very important involving this whole situation involving Israel and how this could end up affecting the markets over the weekend. So I want to give you guys another update on this, give you guys a weekend warning to be looking out for, and how things are looking in my personal opinion. But before I break the doubles information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. I am personally not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull and deposit $500, you're guaranteed 20 free stocks. Deposit $25,000 more, you're guaranteed 75 free stocks. And this offer ends very, very soon in just a few weeks. So anyways, let's talk about the market. How are things looking? Looking at SPY, this thing is on a downtrend right now. You guys can see it's been just making lower highs and lower lows. It's been doing this since the very, very end of March, basically. So with this downtrend that's starting to be respected on SPY, I'm going to make another video where I just break down some more technicals, maybe over the weekend, where I break down the much bigger time frames. But for now, I just want to show you guys what could be playing out, at least for the much shorter term. So SPY, it came down a bit after we got our PPI report. And then in anticipation of the bank earnings, what I think happened is they pumped the market up like this as a trap. They wanted everyone to turn bullish, and they were just getting ready to short the market right here because they knew these, market makers, institutions, whatever, they knew what was going to happen. They knew they're going to, give us this big rug pull. They knew this was coming. That's the reason why we got that pump yesterday. That it kind of makes a lot of sense now. But now the question is, are we about to see a nice rebound? And my answer to that depends on what we end up getting. So from a technical standpoint, what should happen is we should gap up and try to pop a little bit before we continue lower, possibly, or maybe do our thing. But I can't promise that right now because the first issue with SPY is we're losing some structure right here. We lost this 512.5 support. We were holding this for many, many weeks. SPY was holding this support, 512.5, right? We also had 510. We came a little bit below that. Our next support is going to be closer to about 508 to 507. So we're looking weaker now. We're actually losing some critical supports, which is a bad sign. Now, whether this continues, in my opinion, depends on the news over the weekend, because I'm seeing some interesting things coming out. Right now, Israel is saying that they're expecting an attack by Iran over the weekend. Okay, and they have their radars up. They're on alert right now. It's very sad to hear anything about this. And I just want to say once again, it is absolutely horrendous to hear about human lives getting in the way of all of this, human lives being, forced to just pay the cost when they're innocent people. They had nothing to do with this, and yet they have to pay the full price of this. It's just absolutely horrendous, and I really hate to hear any pieces of news like this for the children, the women, and the men who are affected. It's just horrendous. Now, with this happening, there's also going to be a lot of effects that this has on different entities, different factors out there that which affect the markets, such as commodities, not to mention oil. That's going to be very, very important. That, in my opinion, is what's affecting the market right now. So how is this really playing out? If we do end up getting an attack over the weekend, okay, if it happens, it's going to be a bad sign. And this could actually tank the market more, unfortunately. Okay? If we don't get the attack, the market has potential to rebound. I'll be watching to see what ends up being the case. But here's the reason why. Look at this chart right here. It's very simple, actually. We have the CPI versus the crude futures chart right here. And notice that when we get these spikes in inflation, we tend to see the same thing is correlated with crude. So the red line, zoom out like this, the red line right here is crude futures. This is the cost of a barrel of oil. And then we also have the inflation rate as the blue line. Going back since 2000, they were uptrending together right here. Crude was going up, CPI was going up in the 2000s. They came down together, they came up together, especially when the price of a barrel of oil really went up, especially around 2008. There was a lot of war going on and things like that. And then started dipping. Inflation started following the trend a little bit afterwards. So inflation kind of lagged here. They came back up together, down, up together. Inflation started dipping a bit, and then slowly we saw crude follow the trend. They came down, came up, came down, came up, came down. And then as of recently, check this out, we're starting to see crude going up for the last few months. And then notice that the last couple of CPIs were a little bit hot. In fact, the last CPI was not good. The market tanked when CPI came out because everything was hotter than expected. We got a big increase in CPI. Why? Because energy has a big effect on inflation. You have to remember that. Not just directly, but also indirectly, because energy could impact other sectors that impact inflation as well. It affects like transport, manufacturing, and all these other factors. And the list goes on, right? There are also other factors that affect inflation, such as our labor market and things like that. I'm not going to focus on that for now. I just want to say that one big factor is energy. And if Iran does attack over the weekend, projections are showing that we're going to see crude go up to over $100 a barrel. Gas prices are going to go up, guys. Unfortunately, I know it's not what you want to hear, but it's the truth. So this puts us in a very, very dire situation where if these gas prices go up more and more and more, this is going to cause inflation to start going up again. And if that's the case, what's going to happen to the Fed? The Fed right now is expecting, and this is what the market's expecting the Fed to do actually. So the market thinks there's a 98% chance that the Fed's going to keep rates the same in May. In June, there's a 72% chance the Fed is going to keep rates the same. And for the July meeting, there's currently a 43% chance to keep rates the same and a 45% chance to give us one cut. All of these could drop, and the probabilities could all just favor the Fed keeping rates the same until the end of the year, if not by next year. The Fed may have to keep rates high for many, many months, for maybe even the rest of the year. Maybe until like November, December, they won't even start cutting. Maybe not even until much later. If that happens, the projections change, the market's going to price in things differently, and there's going to be more pain coming. Because, excuse me, I apologize. The Fed has to keep rates higher for longer. The Fed has to do so many different things. And this could make the landing not as soft as before. I want to make that very, very clear. So, am I saying that we're going to see a market crash? Is it's going to be a massive recession? I'm not saying that right now. No. But what I am saying is that there's going to be a risk of more pain. And you have to be prepared for that. That's how important this is. It's like a domino effect where Iran's decision is going to affect so many different sectors here in the US. It's going to affect things in the UK. It's going to affect things in China. It's going to affect the whole world. This is very, very important, guys. All right. So, with that being said, what else is happening for next week before I break down some charts? Just in a very, very brief, blunt detail. I don't want to make this video too long. It's a Friday. So for Monday, we have Logan giving a speech from the Fed. We have some manufacturing numbers. Then we have bill auctions. It's all minor data. Same thing on Tuesday, minor data with more manufacturing numbers and housing starts and bill auctions. Wednesday is the same thing. Some production numbers, bond auctions, and that's pretty much it. Not really a whole lot's coming out. We do have the Fed Beige Book. And then for Thursday, more jobs numbers, a bunch of bill auctions. It's all very minor data for the week. So it's one of the first times we're actually getting very minor data for a week. So the data side is going to cool off a little bit for the week starting next week. However, we also have big earnings coming out. Earnings season has started. Monday, we have Goldman Sachs, Charles Schwab, and a couple of others. For Tuesday, we have Bank of America, Johnson Johnson, Morgan Stanley, and the list goes on. For Wednesday, we have ASML, just a few others like US Bancorp. And then we have Discover. For Thursday, we have TSMC, Nokia, and then we also have Netflix after the market closes, and then everything else is minor. And then the week after, we have like Tesla's earnings and a couple more coming out. So we have big earnings coming out, guys. Especially Monday and Tuesday are going to be some pretty big days with these big banks. So we'll see how things go. So Monday, Tuesday are going to be kind of heavy when it comes to earnings, and the rest of the week won't be as crazy. We'll see how things go from here. So with that being said, what do I see in the chart? It's very simple. If there's no attack that happens, there's a chance that we could see a little rebound on SPY. We should be testing at least our 20 EMA, which is probably going to be closer to like 512 by then, if not 515. So look for a little rebound if we don't get an attack. If we get the attack, a bigger dip could be coming all the way down to 507, if not 505. I'll be waiting for that very patiently. Tesla's trying to rebound from a technical standpoint. We could be looking for a test of 173 that breaks. We could get close to 175 again on Tesla from technicals, but technicals are not everything. If there is another attack that happens, We could see another rug pull and Tesla could be making its way back down to 170, if not 168, in my opinion. So I think that's a real possibility. Nvidia is looking bearish from a technical standpoint. If there's no attack, I mean, the chart still looks kind of bearish. I would anticipate like a little gap up to like 888 and then a move back down. If there's no attack, if there's an attack, we might not even gap up. We could just start sinking all the way down to at least the 860s, which could drag down the QQQ. QQQ could retest 440 and then reject, or it could just be start dipping right here to 436 or below that. There is a risk of the QQQ dipping, so we'll see how that goes. Apple is showing some strength as we're approaching its earnings season. It's trying to rebound a bit, showing some life compared to the market. Watch resistance at 178. If we fail to break that, we could be coming back down towards 175. If we break this, 180 could be coming. So we'll see how things go from here. But overall, Apple is one of those stocks that is showing more life. It has more upside potential, whereas the others out there like Tesla are kind of indecisive, and the market's going to be waiting for this big news over the weekend. Are we about to see an attack? So just to go over a couple more real quick, we also have, let me just see real quick, Amazon. I know a lot of people want to hear about Amazon. I'm not going to go over everything today, guys. It's a Friday night right now. Um, Amazon is going to likely retest 187. If you reject, it's going to be coming back down all the way down to 182. 183, then 182. And if we break 187, look for a push back up to 188.5. Overall, we'll give this a little bit of time. For Meta, a little bit bearish looking. There is a risk of it coming all the way down to 507. If we rebound a bit, we have to try to get back above our 511.58 200 EMA. If it breaks above the 200 EMA, we're going to likely rebound to 514. If we fail to break the 200 EMA at 511, we're going to be coming back down to 507. So keep that in the back of your mind. And then finally, the VIX is on an uptrend. It's trying to break out now. This is turning more fearful for the markets. This suggests that the market's on a bigger downtrend. The top is likely in for SPY from this point on, and there's likely more downside coming in the future. Will the market rebound a bit temporarily before we see more downside later, or are we about to collapse from here? It depends on what we get over the weekend, but just keep this in the back of your mind. All right, so thank you for listening. Have a great day, guys. I'll see you guys very soon on the next one. Take care and peace out.